everything that's going on right now in the world is linked to.
Here we go.
Jeffrey
Here comes the
Epstein.
murky waters, y'all.
I think
Everything?
I think everything. Man.
Trump shit.
Eddie
everything?
Bravo's a goat.
Everything.
Who's
UFOs?
connected? Who's like I don't know. Yeah.
Well, you know,
yeah, all of it. All of it.
Since I met you, we've discussed UFOs. UFOs have been around. They've been talking about them since Jesus left Chicago.
Right.
But the last 3 fucking years, everybody's seen fucking UFOs.
Yeah.
How about that Miami? shit?
Miami.
Come on, dog.
The people who
Come
did
on,
the coke
dog.
for 40 years.
Yeah.
That's what you saw. You didn't see no fucking aliens.
Hey fam, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another reaction. This is Segovia coming to you live from the man cave. Hope everyone out there had a good day. We made it. We made it to Friday. It's the weekend. We got a good reaction today, y'all. Today, I was feeling it. I don't know why. Felt like getting into it. Make sure you put on your tinfoil hat today. We're going deep in the murky waters tonight. It's Friday. Why not, right? We got some good clips today. But before we get into that, I just want to let you guys know I figured out not how to go do my live stream. Let's just say this. I finally set it up, right? I finally set up the live stream. I think I got it down right. I think I'm going to have good quality. That's priority for you guys. So make sure you guys hit that bell notification because tomorrow, Saturday night, evening, we're going to be going live for our first live stream, y'all. And what I'm doing on these live streams, I'm not going to be doing the TikTok reactions. I'm going to save that for my videos, right? My 4 uploads. Might switch to 3 uploads depending on how many times I go live. I might start going live 2 or 3 times a week. I want to see how it does with you guys. But for right now, we're going live tomorrow. But on these live streams, we're just going to go down YouTube rabbit holes. We're going to watch some clips on some conspiracy clips, right? Maybe some Joe Rogan best of conspiracies. We're going to go through some current events, some news articles that are going on. We're going to go through that. We're going to go down the YouTube rabbit hole together. And who knows, maybe we can do some requests, right? We'll see. We'll see when we get there, y'all. We'll see how we're feeling. But for right now, we got a good reaction, y'all. Enough of the chit chat. Let's get into it. All right, here we go, y'all. We got a good compilation. We got a good one. Sit back, enjoy. You know what I'm sipping on. I got me a nice strawberry sparkling water. So if you guys are sipping on something or smoking on something, you know what I'm saying? Cheers, y'all. Happy Friday.
Health officials in Virginia are warning travelers at Dulles and Reagan airports that they may have been exposed to highly contagious measles. The Virginia Department of Health says the warning is linked to an international traveler who was at the international arrivals at Dulles Airport between 4 and 8 o'clock on Wednesday, January the 3rd, then at Terminal A at Reagan Airport the following day between 2:30 and 6:30 in the afternoon. They added the virus can stay in the air as long as 2 hours after the presence of an infected person, and for those who step foot in the airports to watch for symptoms until January the 24th.
This is the wildest prediction The Simpsons had ever made for 2024. I don't know if it will happen this year or not, but this is extremely weird and disturbing. So in Season 9, episode title, Treehouse of Horror 8, a strange virus breaks out that turns most people into the living dead. It starts with the zombie virus infecting an MC, right? During a live stream, he goes crazy and infects those around him. The live stream ends with screams of chaos. 28 days later, the entire town of Springfield becomes a city of zombies. The entire town is filled with the Walking Dead lurching around and shrieking. There are only a few sane people left, and among them is the Simpson family. The zombie apocalypse has enveloped the world. Now this is the scary part. Recently, scientists have revived a zombie virus that spent 4,500 years frozen in permafrost. Warmer temperatures in the Arctic are thawing the region's permafrost and potentially stirring ancient viruses that, after lying dormant for tens of thousands of years, could endanger animal and human health. It is concerning that the Arctic has warmed 4 times faster than the rest of the world since 1979. In 2020, we had to face the COVID-19 pandemic caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus, 2016 Zika virus epidemic, 2012 MERS pandemic. So what about 2024?
Breaking news coming out in
But
the past
even
48 hours.
crazier than that. I think this guy's going to get into it, but it affects your brain, right? And he's going to tell you the kill rate, the percentages that they're saying, you know, the chances you got of dying. But it's going at the brain this time, not the lungs. Even though I had a little mind fog with COVID, I got COVID real bad. Now, people can say it was real or fake. I got it bad. Now, whether it was man-made, where I'm leaning, but they're saying this is supposed to come at the brain, y'all.
That the next pandemic is already on the way, and they're saying this is Disease X that could kill up to 50 million people.
I'm having trouble because I have 2 monitors now. So my little weird mind is having trouble remembering that this screen over here is what I'm watching and it's throwing me off. Yeah, I got to get used to it. So if you see me looking like over here and talking, like, yeah, that's why. Bear with me. We'll get there.
They're saying that the death toll could easily dwarf that of what we experience with COVID-19. Now, as I mentioned, this is just coming out in the past 48 hours. And in this video, I'm going to be covering for you what exactly Disease X is and all the details of what they're saying is going to be the next pandemic. Now, if you didn't already hear, take a look at this just in the past couple weeks. So this coming out September 18th of 2023, what to know about Nipah virus amid the outbreak in India. And we're hearing that there are lockdowns taking place due to this virus, and they're saying, don't worry, they believe they have it under control and contained. But here's the concerning issue with this disease. The virus has a fatality rate of 40 to 75%, according to the CDC. Nearly half of the people that contract this virus, they do not make it. And they're concerned, what if something like this were to outbreak on a global scale? And they're saying it's just a matter of time. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you these articles, putting them on the screen, reading right from them, linking them in the description. But right now, all you got to do is go on to Google and type in Disease X.
It's
and
on
you will
there.
see tons of articles that have come out in the past 48 hours. You'll see this trending all over Google. And that is because in the past 48 hours, WHO and UK experts have warned that Disease X is essentially here, and we're expecting an outbreak that will be global, that will dwarf that of COVID-19. They're saying it will be a repeat and probably surpass that of the 1919 Spanish flu.
So this is the recreation of what it must have looked like. So look how far they're going down. Look how scary that is.
Brutal.
Look how scary that is. 3,800 meters. Oh
In the
my
murky
God,
waters
that's
for
crazy.
real. That's the murky waters right there.
Boom. 20 milliseconds. Brain pain response is 150 milliseconds. You don't even have a chance. Real time. Boom. That's it. Gone. You're gone instantaneously. You're mist. You turn into pink mist.
I lived for 2 weeks in the bottom of the sea.
Oh, Jesus.
Scariest thing I saw was one night I was taking a dump. The way you do this, if you have to go number 2, you go into the pool, and there's what we call
Listen to this. This is how you go to the restroom, right? You have to go in the live ocean, deep in the water. He's living down there, what do you say, 2 weeks? You have to swim bare out in the elements. Can you imagine in the pitch dark? Because they're deep in the ocean, so it's pitch dark even if it's daytime. Can you imagine? I mean, just swimming in your swimming pool at night, you feel like someone's going to grab you. Can you imagine in the ocean? I couldn't do that. Hell no.
the gazebo, which is just a little dome that has air inside. And then you just go down, and you have to swim, I don't know, it's like maybe 10, 15 feet. It's not that far. Like with no tank, and you're 60 feet down, it's night. You can't see a thing. You're alone in the ocean. And then you hold on, and you just
wait until the morning.
Take off your trunks, and you just let it rip. And then you finish, and you put your mask back on. And I took a big breath, and I went down, and I opened my eyes in my mask in the darkness with my flashlight, and I saw, like right in front of me, this huge eyeball about the size of a saucer, this big, staring, unblinking right at me. And I freaked out. I just tore off for the pool, for the moon pool and the habitat. I jumped in there. I surfaced. I'm screaming. And my crew come running thinking I've been bit by a shark or something. It was a Goliath grouper.
Oh, I've seen those things before. They're enormous.
Size of a cow.
And he said too, because I remember that podcast, I watched it, and he said too that when you do go to the restroom, the fish and all that adapt to it. They know because they eat all that poop, right? They eat the poop out the water. So they know when you hit that water, that's what you're going to do. So he said the second you jump in there, like fishes are like picking at you, like, you know, nibbling at you and stuff. Like, fuck. No thanks. No thanks. Check this out.
Oh, shit. You all right?
The snowboarder skier found him upside down. The only reason he found him is because he fell. And when he fell, he looked to his left. Watch, check it out.
I've seen those things before. They're enormous.
Size of a cow.
Look at this.
Whoa.
He fell.
Oh, shit. You all
That
right?
dude was dead. He was going to freeze right there. He was stuck. And
Hey. You all right? Can you hear me?
it looks like he wasn't even supposed to be, maybe not supposed to be in that area. Maybe he was allowed to, but most people, they're the only two out there. Like, they're going off road, right? I know I do this all the time. I don't want to be with the people. I want to go do my own thing. I do the same thing when I'm out hiking and stuff. Like, I don't want to be with all the people. We're going to take our own trail. You know what I mean? And he's lucky that dude found him.
Oh, come on.
That's a slow death.
You okay? You all right? Okay, you're good. You're good. I got you. You okay? Can you breathe?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. We're both gonna catch our breath for a sec. I'm gonna help dig you out, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. You're good.
That dude's calm, cool, and collected, man.
Get a little more snow.
To say that.
All right, how you doing? You good?
I'm good.
Okay, good.
I'd be like,
Get you out of
let's
here
get
in
you
a
out of
sec,
there.
okay?
In a world first, a convicted murderer has been executed using nitrogen gas in the US state of Alabama. Kenneth Eugene Smith was one of 2 men convicted in 1989 of murdering a preacher's wife in a killing for hire for $1,000. It's been reported that before he was executed, he said, "Tonight, Alabama causes humanity to take a step backwards." After the gas began to flow into his mask, the inmate is said to have smiled, nodded towards his family, and signed, "I love you." And one witness said that he thrashed violently on the gurney, with the execution taking around 25 minutes. Alabama said in an earlier court filing that it expected Smith to lose consciousness within seconds and die in a matter of minutes. The state's governor, who did not respond to a request to attend the execution, said after 30 years Mr. Smith has answered for his horrendous crimes. Alabama and 2 other US states have approved the use of nitrogen hypoxia as an alternative method of execution, because the drugs used in lethal injections have become more difficult to find.
Everything that's going on right now in the world is linked to.
Here we go.
Jeffrey
Here comes the
Epstein.
murky waters,
That's what
y'all.
I think
Everything?
I think everything. Man.
Maui?
Trump shit.
Eddie
everything?
Bravo's a goat.
Everything?
Who's
UFOs?
connected? Who's like I don't know. Yeah.
Well, you know,
yeah,
look,
all of it. All
Well,
of it.
since I met you, we've discussed UFOs. UFOs have been around. They've been talking about them since Jesus left Chicago.
Right.
But the last 3 fucking years, everybody's seen fucking UFOs.
Yeah.
How about that Miami? shit?
Miami.
Come on, dog.
The people
Come
who
on,
did the coke
dog.
for 40 years.
Yeah.
That's what you saw. You didn't see no fucking aliens. But that's what they're selling all. Now people from the Navy.
It's a distraction.
All of a sudden, all these pilots.
Yeah.
I was going here
Oh,
and they were
it's so
driving
fake.
right next to me,
Yeah,
waving
it's
at
so
me.
fake.
Really? And now you decide to fucking tell me.
This is what I think. This is what I think.
Tell me.
There's a lot of important people that were on that list, right?
Right.
A lot from all over the world.
Right.
Politics,
Music,
Hollywood, music,
actors.
You saw the list is
intellectuals,
out, dog. No ass right there.
physicists, no
Chris
athletes.
Tucker
Yeah.
pretty much said it was real.
Yep.
Not that everybody on the list did shit. Who knows? It would be easy to, like you said, drag. Like if in the '90s or in the 2000s, if people would have liked my music and I would have had a record deal, thank God nobody liked it.
And if somebody
And
said,
somebody
hey, you
said,
want to come to the island?
Let's go to an island, dog. There's a billionaire. He's got a bunch of bitches there. We're gonna party. I think I would have went.
Yeah, be real.
You know what I mean? Then you go,
And you're
right?
talking to a
you
scientist.
go, and then you're like, dude, people brought their kids.
Guess who runs the United States? Which is the most...
The end of that clip, he's all, dude, people brought their kids, and they're like, no, that's the bitches. That was funny. It's probably some dark humor, but I laughed at that when I heard that.
powerful family? I know which one
It's
you're
the
going to
bitches.
say, and it'll be wrong.
You want everyone to think Rothschild, or everybody's going to say Rothschilds, and you're saying there's somebody above them.
Oh, yeah. The other one is the Rockefellers. Everyone says, oh, it's the Rockefellers.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the
No.
Rothschilds.
Who is it?
No, it's the Collins family. Now, who are the Collins? Well, there's a fellow called Christopher Columbus, who in Spanish is called Cristobal Colon. Now, he came from one of the papal families called the Colonna family. And they were the enemies of the Orsini family, who considered themselves to be the Maxima family. The Rothschilds and the Windsors come from the Orsini family. So does Tom Cruise, by the way. He's an Orsini. So the Orsini and the Colonna were fighting in the Middle Ages to be popes, and they were killing each other. There was assassinations, blood on the street, there were coups. Anyway, one pope finally comes along in history and says, right, you've got to stop this killing and fighting amongst yourselves. And that he said, one of your family has to marry one of their family, and you have to make amends, and we have to make a papal bull, and we have to work together. And from then on, the Collins family, whom are also called the Cohens, the Jewish Cohens, the priests, the Levites, the Cohens, the Collins, the Colon, becomes Columbia, District of Columbia, the Knights of Columbus, Columbia Pictures, British Columbia, Columbia in South America, and the Collins family still runs America. Thank you, Christopher Collins, otherwise known as Christopher Columbus.
By the way, I don't do this. I'm just joking with you. Some of you guys are going to call and say, Pat, I'd like to buy one from you. Let's take a look at some of these crazy bunkers worldwide.
He's out, y'all.
Here's one.
It's ridiculous.
The Vivos Europa 1 luxury underground bunker house. Just look at that picture right there. This is in Rothenstein, Germany. 76 acres above and below ground. 34 living quarters, each 2,500 square feet. Kitchen, bedrooms, deluxe bathrooms, living, dining, swimming pool, theater, gym, and bar. So while the world's coming to an end above you, you're watching a nice little movie and just kind of shaking a little bit while you're at a place like this in Germany. By the way, this next one's pretty wild. This is a survival condo Doomsday bunker in Kansas, U.S., built from a missile silo, 15 floors with amenities like shooting range, rock climbing wall, indoor pool, water park, library, theater, bar, fitness center, and a command center.
Who do you think is the most powerful man on the planet?
It's BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. These three companies are the largest shareholders of 88% of S&P 500 companies. Do you know how much total money there is in the world circulating? It's around $430 trillion, $440 trillion. They control $66 trillion of the entire world's wealth. So the commander-in-chief is not who we think it is. It's the CEO of BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street. It's people like Larry Fink and George Soros. They have influence. We've always been like, is it good for a guy like Elon Musk to be as rich as he is? Elon Musk is nothing compared to what these guys are doing collectively together.
Bruce Lee died from some sort of an allergic reaction to a drug or...
You know what that was?
What?
The triads got him.
Do you think so? You really do?
When he left those people to do Enter the Dragon, he pissed off a lot of people, man. He was making them a lot of money.
Like when Brandon Lee died. He died on a set of a movie in a special effects scene. They shot him with a gun with blanks, but there was some piece of a shell or something that was still in the chamber of the gun, and that shot into him.
You know those people, they're Sicilian, dog. Listen, you know what? I'm going to kill you and your son.
Really?
They did it.
That's what it is?
The Chinese. They don't fuck around, dog. They don't fuck around.
I love a good nutrition article with ties to a conspiracy theory from the 70s. Meat eating extends life expectancy worldwide. Who would have thought? But we're just now figuring out. But who made us think that eating meat was bad in the first place? That's old Dr. Mark right here. He did some research demonizing animal fats in the 1960s and 70s. But where did his money come from? This very ominous looking group of men right here is the Sugar Research Foundation. And they just so happened to pay a little payment to Dr. Mark for his research. Something to the tune of $48,000 equivalent of 2016 dollars, which is like 150 grand nowadays. Groceries are expensive. And they never disclosed that funding until very recently a wonderful researcher dug this up. This is the same guy that came up with the food pyramid. You know, the one that tells us to eat a bunch of carbohydrate and crap and makes us all sick and fat? Problem was, his research was based on people who also drank a lot of beer and smoked a lot of cigarettes. I wonder what it really was that was making everybody sick. So big props to Dr. Christine Kearns, who discovered the paper showing that the sugar industry is the ones who funded this research that downplayed the role of sugar in heart disease.
Have you ever heard about study that was done?
All right. Now, I'm a big believer in high-fat diet, low-carb diet, right? But I also lost a ton of weight eating high carbs, low fat. I just think when you mix the two, that's when you get the weight gain, you know, the health problems and all that. When you're drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, eating a burger and fries, right? If you just eat the burger maybe with no fries, or you just eat a grilled chicken sandwich, you know what I mean? You can't mix the two. You can't mix fat and carbs. And unfortunately, that's what tastes the best. That's the American diet, fat with carbs, right? So, but I feel my best, right? Anyone with mental health issues, anxiety, depression, anything like that, highly suggest you try a low carb diet. Life will change, promise you.
Which basically formed our food pyramid that was paid for by the sugar industry.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Crazy.
Not just that, but they actually bribed scientists to take the heat off of sugar and put it on saturated
and put it on
fat.
saturated, which totally screwed everything up more.
Screwed up a lot of people's bodies too.
Oh,
because
man.
their diets got all fucking confused. They're eating margarine. 'Cause they think it's good for them.
Yeah. It's insane, man. And the FDA allows these things to go on. Like, it's just mind-boggling to me. It is no, I mean, I guess it's not, because it's all lobbyists and people being paid off. And
there's a lot of crooks out there.
That's so terrible.
There's a lot of crooks out there, and these people have been co-opted by these enormous corporations. So these people can make decisions that benefit the corporations, and it benefits their career, and then they move on to get jobs in those corporations, and meanwhile everybody else is fucked.
Today, 3 out of 5 people in the world will die of
Check this out, y'all. Now, I heard this from a doctor on a podcast that most people that are in the hospital, most, not all, are due to being inflamed. Now, she's going to break down what causes most inflammation. And it's what we eat, y'all. It's what we eat.
an inflammation-based disease.
And it's crazy that on every corner of every street, there's restaurants or fast food that make you super inflamed, right? If you feel bloated, like, oh, I feel bloated, like that's inflamed. That's your aches, your ankles hurt when you get out of bed, right? You're inflamed. And on every corner, most people in the hospital are dying from this. Cancer, all that, heart disease. It's an inflammatory disease, right? And there's food on every corner that leads to inflammation. It's all connected, y'all. It's deep.
Yeah, cancer is inflammation-based. Heart disease, Alzheimer's, cancer, type 2 diabetes, like they all have a massive inflammatory component. So inflammation, lots of different things that can drive it. I mean, from not exercising to smoking to alcohol, whatever. But in the context of food, what happens is that if you have big glucose and fructose spikes, as I mentioned, like your mitochondria become overwhelmed. They create reactive oxygen species and free radicals, and then those lead to inflammation. Too much glycation also leads to inflammation. Too much insulin also drives inflammation. So it's just like a big concerto of lots of stuff that drive up inflammation. Stress drives up inflammation, everything drives up inflammation. So the more you can reduce it, the better off you'll be. And oftentimes it's just simple things. Exercise reduces inflammation, that's good. Enough sleep reduces inflammation. Avoiding glucose spike reduces inflammation, etc., etc.
All right, there you have it. Now, one thing she said, stress. Now, I think that's I'm going to say it, I think it's one of the top reasons for inflammation, because I've gone days where I'm eating clean, like I worked out, I ran, like I should drop a pound or two, right? But I'm stressed out and I gain weight and I feel like crap. I feel bloated. I feel like I ate a large pizza, right? So I think stress is a big one. That you gotta, it starts up here. You gotta work on this, y'all. That's where you gotta work on first and foremost. But anyways, y'all, I hope you guys liked the reaction. I love it. I love having this monitor right here. Now I can keep an eye on my time, right? I'm not rambling too much. This isn't turned into 40 minutes of nonsense, right? So I get to keep an eye on that. I love it. This is going to take us to a new level. Like I said before, live streaming starts tomorrow. Make sure you guys hit that bell notification so you know when I go live. It's going to be tomorrow evening sometime. I don't know, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, something like that. I have no plans tomorrow. So we're going to start live streaming tomorrow. So make sure you guys hit that bell. If you guys made it this far, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe. Hope everyone out there has a fun, safe weekend. I'll see you guys on the next reaction. This is Segovia signing out of the Man Cave. Later.